Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Florida.
Tonight in Cincinnati, the Marlins face a former Fish. Anthony DeSclafani goes for the Reds. His opponent, his former roommate, his good friend, and a brand new Marlin. Justin Nicolino makes his Major League debut. It's Marlins and Reds. It's next. On the banks of the Ohio, a great American ballpark, the host of the 2015 All-Star Game. And a place that Justin Nicolino will always remember because he's making his Major League debut tonight. And the Marlins try to even the score. The Reds capturing Game 1 last night by a score of 5-0. The Reds were, well, impressive last night. The buzz, though, around the Marlins, whenever a starting pitcher makes his Major League debut, there's always a good buzz. And for Justin Nicolino, that buzz is tonight. You know, the word that surrounds Justin Nicolino when we try to find out a little bit about him is that he's always had a feel for pitching wherever he's pitched, A-ball, Double-A, and this year in Triple-A. He's 23, and just like you said, he'll always remember Great American Ballpark because this is where his debut will be. Last year, a great year in Double-A, and his catcher last year, of course, JT Realmuto. Lefty with good command, and you talked about feel for the game. Now, if he wins this game, he'll become just the 10th Marlin to win his Major League debut. The last guy to do it, Anthony DeSclafani, and it was back in Los Angeles. I never thought you would ask me, Rich. Yeah, we were there. We saw Disco's Major League debut. It was a good one. Hey, remember, he also had a base hit and 2 RBIs in that game as well. So here are 2 kids that were drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays. They've been traded. They came over. All of a sudden, they match up against each other in Cincinnati. So DeSclafani, who is a good sinker-slider pitcher, and his good buddy, Justin Nicolino, match up tonight. And you can't downplay the fact that they are good buddies, former roommates, good friends. They even had a meeting in the hallway here at Great American Ballpark before the game. Yeah, DeSclafani made an effort to go over towards the Marlins clubhouse, and he wanted to say hi to Nicolino, his good buddy. They had a chance to meet outside in the hallway. Wish each other luck. That's where it stops, though, right now. All right. Here's where it starts, though, for Justin Nicolino. The Marlins and the Reds ready to go. What's it like to debut on the big stage for a pitcher? Well, Disco did it last year. Nicolino does it tonight. And you've got a front row seat. Fans arriving on a Saturday night in Cincinnati. Great American Ballpark. Let's go down to the field. Craig Minervini, Carl Pavano. Guys?
All right, Justin Nicolino making his Major League debut tonight for the Marlins. For Carl Pavano, it was the Montreal Expos, 1998.
Wow.
We got a shot of you, too, Carl, as you made your big debut at the Big O Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Had a good outing.
Yeah, seems like forever ago. I opposed Kurt Schilling. You know, they had they had a lineup. Abreu, Scott Rowland. I actually got a hit and an RBI my first at bat, and Schilling was one of my favorite pitchers. That was really special. I was prepared. I was actually in Ottawa, so our cleats were black. So they gave me, I had to get blue cleats. Well, they sent the 13. I'm a 14. So we actually had to doctor the toe a little bit so my foot wouldn't get broken while I was pitching. So it was actually a little stressful. But other than that, I had good stuff, and I was excited. It was in Canada, so that was cool.
Was Kozak involved in that?
Yeah, Cozy was our trainer at the time.
Marlins trainer. So
yeah.
They cut out your shoe. What did they do?
They just put lines in my shoe so it can expand a little bit, so I could get my foot in there. But hey, it worked out.
It worked. Hopefully it'll work tonight.
They're my lucky shoes now.
How nervous is Nicolino going to be?
I don't see many nerves. I got a chance to say hi to him and congratulate him. Eye contact was great. He's ready to go. Like I said, he's been in big games. This is just another big game in his career, one that eventually he'd have to tackle. He's going to be just fine.
Should be fun to watch. Ball game coming up here from Cincinnati. The Marlins and the Reds. Game 2 on Fox Sports Florida coming up next.
On Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. By AutoNation. Save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. And by Coral Springs Auto Mall. Across the street from the Coral Square Mall. We make it easy. Great American Ballpark. A lot more sun than there was yesterday in Cincinnati. Jam Lexus brings you the starting lineup for the Marlins. D. Gordon, a nice night last night. Gordon with a base hit. Derek Dietrich's at third. Christian Yelich in left. Giancarlo Stanton in right. Marcell Ozuna, a couple hits last night. He's hitting 10 of 11 on the road. Justin Bour at first. JT Realmuto, Danny Echeverria, and Justin Nicolino hits ninth.
A good shot of Anthony DeSclafani, 6'1", 190. 25-year-old has been extremely solid in that Cincinnati Reds rotation. 9 of his 12 starts, 6 or more innings. He's had a good run his last 5 starts, an ERA under 3. He's 3-0. So they're pleased at the way DeSclafani has pitched.
BMW brings you Cincinnati's defense.
And you would expect that defense to come into play. He's not a strikeout guy, Disco. There's Bird, Hamilton, and Jay Bruce in the outfield. Eugenio Suarez, Brandon Phillips up the middle. Votto and Frazier. There's some power at the corners. And Brian Pena does the catching tonight for Brian Price.
Reds have committed the 3rd fewest errors in the National League. Miami is still on top of that list, just 26 errors for the Fish. D. Gordon in the box. Disco into his windup. And the first pitch brought to you by Pinch a Penny. And DeSclafani throws a strike. Derek Dietrich, Christian Yelich to face the 25-year-old out of Colts Neck, New Jersey, Anthony DeSclafani, a former Gator. Ball and a strike. What's your scouting report on Disco?
Well, let's jump into it quickly. We've talked a little bit about the stuff that he has. Fastball and slider, it sinks, turns over the changeup, and yeah, he has his eyes on Omaha because the University of Florida tonight, of course, he's got to keep his concentration here, plays Virginia. The elimination game, whoever wins goes on to play Vanderbilt in the College World Series Finals, best of 3.
Cool stuff indeed for Florida. 2-1 to D. Gordon. And Gordon sends that up into the bright sunshine. Billy Hamilton out in center field makes the catch, and there's 1 out.
And just to show you that DeSclafani was thinking a little bit about that when I saw him in the bowels of the stadium just before he met Nicolino, and I said, yeah, that Gator game has started, hasn't it? 3 o'clock. And he responded right away, no, it's 8 o'clock.
Here's Dietrich now. Boy, the Marlins trying to shake themselves early in ball games. This road trip, the first few innings has not been good, and the tone was set Wednesday night when Michael Pineda went 6 no-hit innings at Yankee Stadium. Strike to Dietrich. Christian Yelich broke it up with a solo homer in the 7th. On Thursday night, the Marlins waited till the 4th to get their first hit. Counts 0-2 here, and then last night it was Yelich again in the 6th inning with Miami's first hit.
Yeah, if you look at those last 3 games, the Marlins haven't gotten a base hit or a base runner in any of those games through the first 3 innings.
And if you want to go back further, Dietrich, that one clipped him in the leg. Remember, Dietrich got hit last night.
Hey, that's a start, a base runner. How about that? Since that 8-run outburst, since then 9 runs, a batting average of 197. Now look at that. Last 3 games, the first 9 batters retired in order. So a good sign. Dietrich able to get on base, being hit by a pitch.
It was not as overt as Jose Tabata. And Brian Price comes out just to check with the home plate umpire, Lance Barksdale. If you haven't seen, here's a look at this one. It bounces and grazes, I believe, the back leg, though from that angle it was tough to tell. There was no hesitation by Lance Barksdale and no hesitation by Dietrich. So he's at first. Yelich is up, and DeSclafani throws a strike. It's 0-1. The Washington Nationals' Max Scherzer today was 1 strike away from a perfect game. Jose Tabata of the Pirates was the hitter. This was in D.C. A long at bat. After going behind 0-2, Tabata fought off a bunch of pitches. And then on a breaking ball that was in, Tabata seemed to lean a bit into it. It clipped his elbow. The perfect game was lost. Scherzer settles for a no-hitter. Fastball is away. It's 1-2.
Yeah, with 10 strikeouts. It kind of reminded me of Marvin Bernard in San Francisco when Kevin Brown threw his no-hitter.
Dietrich, the runner, at first. Of course, DeSclafani and Justin Nicolino, just part of that huge Marlins Blue Jays trade.
And in a way, as you told me before the game, Derek Dietrich involved.
Yunel Escobar came from Toronto to Miami. Yelich swings and misses and strikes out. And the Marlins immediately flipped Escobar to get Dietrich. But the rest of the guys on this list, Henderson Alvarez, Jake Marisnick, the piece that the Marlins used to get Jared Cozart. DeSclafani, the Marlins used, obviously, to get Matt Latos. But Echeverria is a blossoming star at short. And Nicolino makes his debut tonight. Here's Stanton now. And Giancarlo swings and misses.
You know, we've talked about Nicolino making his debut and nerves that he'll have to deal with. DeSclafani pitching against the team that he made his debut with. I'm sure he's thinking about a few things too. He's seen Stanton take a lot of BP.
He's come after him with fastballs. He's out in front 0-2. DeSclafani certainly didn't show any nerves at Dodger Stadium in front of a big house. He got a win in that Major League debut, 13-3. The Marlins hammered the Dodgers. Stanton, a liner out to second, and Brandon Phillips is there and makes the catch. Marlins are done. Justin Nicolino takes the ball in the big leagues for the first time. Ed Jennings and the rest of the Marlins knew a couple days ago Tom Kohler had a stiff neck, and it wasn't until today that they decided that Justin Nicolino would face this lineup. It's brought to you by JM Lexus. Brandon Phillips, great career as a Red. Joey Votto's at first. Todd Frazier is hot. So is Jay Bruce all of a sudden. He hurt the Marlins last night. Brian Pena's been swinging it well, the switch hitting catcher. Marlon Byrd homered last night. Eugenio Suarez is at shortstop. DeSclafani is in the 8th spot, and speedy Billy Hamilton hits 9th. And here is Justin Nicolino facing Brandon Phillips. Phillips takes a strike. They put the ball out of play. Nicolino's numbers in AAA.
Last time Nicolino started was on June 13th against Omaha. So the 23-year-old out of University High School in Orlando, taking a deep breath and going at it.
Brandon Phillips fouls back a high fastball, and the count is 1-2.
And as you watch velocity of the fastball, 89, 91, 92. But as we've talked about, he's been a kid that's always had a really good feel for pitching. And a good cutter just ties up Brandon Phillips.
So a nice way to start things for Justin Nicolino.
Miami's defense behind him is brought to you by BMW.
And there it is with Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton. Dietrich, Echeverria, D. Gordon, Justin Bour back there. And as we talked about a few times, not too often when you're making your major league debut do you have a catcher that you're real familiar with. So JT certainly familiar with Justin Nicolino.
And we leaned on Nicolino for the, or rather, leaned on Real Muto for the scouting report on Nicolino. And he said that cutter he's just started to throw last year, but everything you read about command, the breaking ball, and the changeup are all true. Votto shuffles his feet.
I like his demeanor out there. Doesn't look like he's wasting much time.
Kind of side saddles into his windup. He's out in front of Votto, 1-2.
And we've seen him a few times in the spring. But even this year in spring training, the thought was all along, get him a lot of starts, as many as possible in AAA.
So he arrives here just about the third week of June. Two and two. Votto's reached base in 27 consecutive games. Something he's always done in his career. His career on base, .416. That's his career on base percentage.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And he looks at that one and he misses. Votto is aboard.
Yep, just out a little bit. That's why that on base percentage is near .420 for Joey Votto.
Here's Todd Frazier, and I'm sure Justin Nicolino somewhere watched some Todd Frazier highlights this week. You couldn't miss him. The walk-off grand slam, 4 homers in 2 games.
That's a great point, thinking about it, watching highlights, which all the young players do.
Yelich makes a catch.
If you're in the minor leagues, you're watching every sports show and highlight show of all the major leaguers. So you see all these guys. Years ago, 30, 40 years ago, you didn't have that. So when you arrived at the major leagues, you were seeing that guy maybe for the first time.
But you'd read about him.
You'd
read
heard about him. And maybe you saw him on a Saturday game of the week. That's about it.
Well, if you've seen this guy lately, you know that he's hot. Jay Bruce, 8 for his last 12. Drove in 2 last night. He swings and fouls it back. Bruce last night a 2-run double. That coming in the 8th inning. That was against Brad Hand. Marlins bullpen had a rough ride last night. Steve Cishek, Brad Hand, and Vin Mazzaro. But the Reds need Jay Bruce to get back to 2-3 years ago. Jay Bruce. That one squirts by Real Muto.
I don't think this ball hit the dirt. Let's see. That was close, but that certainly was catchable, and it's a pass ball. Not that we need enough storylines and twists. We talked about DeSclafani going to University of Florida. Nicolino had committed to the University of Virginia. That's who they play tonight in Omaha.
A liner, and it's right to Justin Bour. And he makes the catch. Justin Nicolino's first inning in the big leagues. It's a scoreless ball game. two have worked together over the last couple of years, including this year in New Orleans. Justin Nicolino is through his first inning in his first game in the big leagues. Our home run challenge. We're back at it. Every Marlin home run, 12,500 will be pledged to fight prostate cancer. You can donate and add to the pot by going to homerunchallenge.org. Homerunchallenge.org. Marcelo Zuna, Justin Bour, and JT Realmuto against Anthony DeSclafani in the second in a scoreless ball game. Miami trying to get the offense in gear. As we documented in the first inning, it's been a slow go for the bats for the last 4 ball games. End of the bat, and Bird is there to make the catch.
Well, the good news in going back and looking at those 3 games, Marlins really didn't have many good swings, but already early on, Giancarlo lined out to second. Ozuna put a good swing on that. So better swings early on. Baby steps, Rich. It's baby steps.
Here's Justin Bour. Bour 0 for 3 last night with a walk. He was the victim of probably the play of the night in the ball game last night, and that was Todd Frazier's diving stop, sprawled on the line behind the bag at third, and a great pick by Votto at first base.
Yeah, the Reds are a team that don't do a lot of shifting. We've seen numerous teams shift with 3 guys on the right side of the infield, the third baseman over near shortstop. The Reds don't do that. That was one of the reasons Frazier was able to make that play.
Fastball missed someplace. DeSclafani paused, and it was just in. It's off of Bour's foot. So Marlins and Reds here tonight. Lots of games across the major league landscape. We told you about Max Scherzer's no-hitter. 6-0, beating the Pirates. The Rockies beat the Brewers 5-1. Cubs in extras beat the Twins 4-1. Votto on the grass, flips. DeSclafani gets to the bag and gets the out. There are 2 outs here in the second. Marlins return home on Tuesday. And waiting for them, the St. Louis Cardinals. You can purchase a 2-piece bone-in chicken combo at any participating Popeyes location. Present your receipt at the Marlins Park ticket office. You'll get 2 complimentary tickets to the game. That's on the 23rd, Tuesday night. For more information, go to marlins.com/Popeyes.
I talked to Tom Kohler a little bit before the game, and said it kind of aggravated that little neck stiffness. He threw a little bit when he got here, but just couldn't feel 100%. He said the bottom line, he didn't want to go out there and start a game, and then all of a sudden the second inning say I can't go anymore, and just tax the bullpen. So he hopes to be back his next time around.
Realmuto, Frazier, Votto the catch, and he stayed on the bag. Realmuto is out, and DeSclafani goes 1-2-3 in the second. Justin Nicolino, Anthony DeSclafani, the duel continues. in Cincinnati. And, of course, arriving at the ballpark today, he was in the clubhouse when Anthony DeSclafani asked to see him. And the two good friends, the former roommates, a nice moment to share before they faced each other here tonight.
That's a nice touch for Disco to go over and initiate. Saying hi, wishing Nicolino best of luck.
Now for Nicolino, he was here last night and spent the night in the hotel, and the Marlins weren't sure whether he was going to pitch tonight, so he really couldn't, get on the horn to all his friends and say, hey, I'm going to pitch tonight.
But he does have some family here to watch him in his debut.
Got some family here. Brian Pena at the plate for the Reds. And Pena takes in. It's Pena, Marlon Byrd, Eugenio Suarez. Dietrich, little spin, and a nice play by Dietrich to get Pena.
On a good changeup from Justin Nicolino.
The fantastic All-Star finalists have been announced. We want to help a fish fan win a trip to the All-Star game in Cincinnati to represent the Marlins in Fox Sports Florida. Go to foxsports.com/fantastic all-star to vote now through June 24th. And don't vote for a Kansas City Royal, for goodness sake. They already have enough votes.
Echeverria, D. Gordon, Giancarlo.
Marlon Byrd to right field. Stanton is over, and Stanton makes the catch.
Rich, generally speaking, if you talk to people in the game, they'll tell you from an A ball club, you're fortunate to get 3 or 4 guys from that club to make it to the big leagues. There was a time, not a lot of starts together, that in Lansing, which was the A ball club of the Blue Jays, Noah Syndergaard was there, Aaron Sanchez, who was with the Toronto Blue Jays, Nicolino, and DeSclafani. And they're all pitching in the big leagues now.
That's amazing. That's a pretty good rotation.
Talked to a longtime Major League pitcher, Ed Lynch. Ed pitched for the Mets a long time. He's a scout now, and he's with Toronto. And he certainly remembered that and reminded me of that story.
So it's a big night for him because these are two of the guys that they brought up through their system that the Marlins traded for after the 2012 season. Eugenio Suarez. A little Toronto Blue Jay flavor. Stanton again. 8-pitch inning. Justin Nicolino fitting in just fine in a scoreless ball game in Cincy. Creeping out here in Cincinnati. This copyrighted telecast presented by the Authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. If you're just happening by, Major League debut for Justin Nicolino. He's due up second. And his good friend Anthony DeSclafani, former Marlin, is pitching for the Cincinnati Reds. Danny Echeverria climbs in. Nicolino and D. Gordon to follow. That's a nice bunt, but it rolls off the shelf, so to speak, and trickles foul.
That's a good try by Echeverria. He's in a little bit of a cold spell. Last 3 games, 0 for 9. This is a ball that hits the corner of the grass, that kicks it foul. You wonder if sometimes in certain ballparks in Miami that ball might stay fair. But Echeverria just trying to get back on track with a bunt single.
Todd Frazier on patrol at third base. The Reds, I mentioned, a very good defensive team. You've got a lot of gold on that right side with Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto. Suarez, by all indications, is a capable shortstop. Frazier's made some really nice plays in this series at third base. One of the things that the Blue Jays liked about DeSclafani when they drafted him, the Marlins liked about him when they traded for him, and that the Reds liked as well, demanded him in the trade for Latos. He's all business. There's not a lot of pretense about DeSclafani. He gets it. He throws it. Throws a lot of fastballs. He pounds the strike zone. Throw to first. Echeverria is out.
You hear the term makeup. Disco has good makeup.
And we check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Dale and Sherry Nicolino are part of the big family here. It must have been a mad scramble. I know this is a nerve-wracking moment for you.
Yes, we just got here 5 minutes before the game started, but it's exciting time for him. And he hasn't batted in a long time, so let's go.
First thing she said was, do you know his pitch count?
Yes, that's important. Very important. We want him to keep a low pitch count.
You probably watched him as a young little leaguer bat many times.
Yes.
How is it different from this?
Well, he doesn't get to bat all the time. So that's he doesn't get his practice like he used to, and he's more focused on pitching than batting. So, but we want him to do well at both. Okay, nice.
Not bad. Because of the nature of this start, having an injury situation, how difficult was it to get? You have grandma here, there is fiance, a big group here.
Well, some drove. Oh, darn it. Oh, sorry. Some drove. His grandparents live in Ohio, and then his fiance was in Jacksonville, and then we booked a flight. It didn't matter. We were coming.
You were coming.
No matter what.
And when did you find out that he was pitching?
He called us last night and said there was a possibility, and then this morning at 9 o'clock, he didn't confirm it until 2:30 this afternoon.
But you were flying by that point?
We got on the plane at 3.
Oh, and you made it. Dale, you made it. How neat is this for you? Give me a little piece here.
It's good for us, but it's better for Justin. You know, he's worked hard many years at it, so it's exciting to be here and watch him. We like to watch him work, so it's good to be here.
He has had an outstanding minor league career. You're right, he has earned it. He has been minor league pitcher of the year at 3 different levels, the ball club minor league pitcher of the year. So is this something that he's always dreamed about, you talked about with him as a kid?
Sure, yeah. He always wanted to play in the major leagues, and he's been very patient. You know, he's waited his time, and, you know, sometimes it takes another player to get hurt for him to get his start. Hopefully he can show him what he's got while he's up here, you know. He's a good worker, and we'll see what happens.
Does this feel different for you guys? I mean, you've watched him his whole life, but the energy of the major leagues, are you nervous for him? How do you feel?
Nervous for him and us. It's nerving. I mean, it's a great stadium, and this is what he worked for his whole life to get to the big stadium. So we're here now. Let's see what he can do.
We always want him to do good. Anytime your job, you want him to do the best.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming out. You got the big family here, and we'll get back to the Nicolino story. We come back here as we go to the bottom of the third.
The final round of the 115th U.S. Open Championship live from Chambers Bay Golf Course, and you can watch it all on Fox. Find out who'll stamp their names into the history books beginning at 2 Eastern on Fox. You can watch all the action on your phone or your tablet with Fox Sports Go. DeSclafani lines it to center. Ozuna stumbles. It gets by him. It rolls past him. And Anthony DeSclafani has got himself a base hit. Yeah, here's a look again, and let's see. Now, Marcell Ozuna, during batting practice, had, I'm not sure exactly what it was, a mishap out there. Whether it was an ankle or something. We saw him fall during batting practice and then limp a bit. I don't know if it had anything to do with him slipping on that one, but it's a base hit for DeSclafani. And here's Billy Hamilton.
Well, certainly the slip cost him making the catch.
Billy Hamilton in the 9 spot. Brian Price has been hitting his pitcher 8th, as we talked about last night. A lot of that has to do with trying to get Hamilton going offensively and getting him out of the 8th spot in front of the pitcher.
A little better from this side of the plate is Billy Hamilton. He'll also give you a long ball occasionally, but usually from this side of the plate.
That one foul back and out of play. So the first hit that Justin Nicolino gives up is a ball that probably should have been caught
and hit by his buddy Anthony DeSclafani.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's a chopper. It's over the head of Dietrich. Yelich picks it up, and the Reds are in business here in the 3rd with runners 1st and 2nd. And the payoff for Brian Price is when Hamilton gets on, as he is here, he's got Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto, then Todd Frazier coming up.
Boy, that's just a good pitch, a chopper all the way, but high enough that it got over Derek Dietrich. He reaches down, just pounds that ball into the ground. Now a little test for Justin Nicolino.
He was able to jam Brandon Phillips on a bouncer to second. That opened up the bottom of the 1st. Phillips trying to bunt, pushes it up the first base side.
And for the Reds now, it's their 2nd time around seeing the young left-hander.
Now in that case, some Red fans are probably saying, why would Brian Price have Brandon Phillips bunt in that spot?
He's probably doing it on his own.
Amen. A lot of times it happens when a hitter will do it on his own. There's the skipper of the Reds in his 2nd season. Takes a strike. It's 0-2.
Seen a little bit of the stuff that Nicolino features. That was the good curveball. Seen the fastball, the cut fastball, and he's thrown a few changeups. Changeup's a good pitch for him.
Because Phillips squared the 2nd time, do you think that was a called bunt?
That makes me think more that it was called.
Phillips pops it fouling out of play. Really nice crowd here in Cincinnati. Of course, the All-Star game is coming in July. Downtown decorated with the All-Star logo. The All-Star logo is kind of the old style cap from back in the 1800s with a mustache outlet or outline, I guess I should say, of Mr. Red. We've seen that in a lot of the buildings in downtown Cincinnati. Of course, the Marlins have yet to unveil their All-Star logo. 2017. Bouncer up the middle, draws Echeverria to the bag, flips on over first, and gets the double play.
That's a beautiful thing. And as I say so often, that double play most often is started by the pitcher making a good pitch. So Phillips had 2 strikes on him. Nicolino makes a good pitch to get him to hit that nice, easy 2-hopper, and the rest is academic once it gets in the hands of Echeverria.
Now Nicolino goes after Joey Votto. He walked him back in the first. Votto's slash line this year a lot more beefy than last year. 544 slug, 399 on base. And a strike. Votto's slugging percentage last year just barely over 400. 62 games, had just 6 homers. That left quad really wrecked his whole season.
Boy, the other scary thing about Joey Votto, he came into this year 334 lifetime with runners in scoring position. So we talked about the slugging percentage and the way he's hit with men in scoring position as well. And the Reds have a couple of guys, Votto being one, Jay Bruce the other, who actually handle left-handers fairly well.
Yeah, Votto in his career has handled everybody well.
Well, yeah.
Justin Nicolino for the 2-2 to Joey Votto. Votto leans out over the plate.
Boy, he has such a good eye. He took that pitch a couple of times his previous at bat, and yeah, it just missed.
Swing and a miss. Nicolino strikes out Votto and leaves DeSclafani at third. Mom's happy, Dad's happy, Graham is here as well. They're all here for Justin Nicolino. Tony Perez terrorized National League pitchers. The third member of the Big Red Machine to get to Cooperstown. The eephus pitch from Bill Lee, a turning point in the 1975 World Series. And now a member of the Marlins front office, and sitting between myself and Tommy Hunt. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Guys, how you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're enjoying watching the young left-hander throw.
Yeah, he's throwing good. Nico is throwing good, man.
He is.
I'm glad he can make a great pitch in the last one. He make up to Bodo.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I've always wondered. We saw that shot of the Ephus pitch by Bill Lee. When you guys went over scouting reports or talked about the opposing pitchers, did that come up? Did they say every once in a while he'll throw that?
No, I never heard it before. The first time I faced him over there, he threw me one and bounced, and I swing on it. And that's what, I got a little embarrassed him. And I look at the dugout, and everybody was laughing over there. And I said, well.
Derek Dietrich, right field and deep, no doubt about it. Wow. That's 20 rows up. And the Marlins have the lead. And we've talked an awful lot about the trade that brought all the talent from Toronto to Miami. Well, remember, the Marlins got Derek Dietrich from the Rays with Yunel Escobar, who came from the Blue Jays. The Marlins flipped Escobar right away, and Dietrich makes his presence known in this game.
Tony, you get a chance to watch a lot of batting practice in Miami, especially. This guy has some power, doesn't he?
He does. He has some power, and when he gets his pitch, he never misses it. He hit it hard.
So Dietrich is homered, and here is Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, Marcell Ozuna coming up. Now, Tony, you're here obviously with the Marlins. Here's a look. Tell us about this swing, Tony.
That was compact right there. The ball was up, but he wants it, and like I tell you, if he get it, he don't miss it. He hit it hard, and he got a lot of power. He's looking good.
All-Star game is here in Cincinnati. You were an All-Star game MVP, right?
Yeah, 1967, a lot of moons ago.
How many innings did that game go?
15.
15.
15 innings, yeah.
I remember watching that game because it was in Anaheim.
Yes.
Correct?
Right.
And the lighting wasn't real good early in the game. It was tough to see.
Real bad. I'm glad I didn't play early.
Yelich takes outside. Now with the All-Star game here in Cincinnati, aren't you managing one of the Futures teams in the Futures game?
Right. Yeah, I'm managing the one, and Ken Griffey Sr., we're managing the American team. Yeah.
3-2. Yelich fouls it off. Well, that's pretty cool. And I know that a lot of the other great eight, as they often call you guys in Cincinnati, will be here.
I think they're all going to be here, and we're going to have fun. I think when we get together, we're teasing around and things like that, and we have fun.
Yelich drives that one to left center field. Well hit. Hamilton after it. Won't get it. Off the wall. And Christian Yelich bangs a double in the left center gap. And all of a sudden, the Marlins get to Anthony DeSclafani for a couple of loud hits.
Yeah, I think they were watching my swings a while ago.
Maybe that's it. Actually, we've seen a couple of pitches up a little bit from DeSclafani, and that's that nice swing at Christian Yelich.
He did.
And now Giancarlo Stanton. Now, Tony, you've seen Stanton since he arrived in the big leagues.
Right.
He told us, even though he was having a great year with home runs and RBIs, that as of 3 weeks ago, he just didn't feel comfortable. All of a sudden, he says he does feel comfortable. Have you seen that?
Well, you can see when he's not comfortable. He just missing a lot of pitches and shaking a lot of bad pitches. But when he's home, he wait for his pitch and he drove it anywhere. I mean, right center, whatever. When he got his swing, he feels good.
And it's just a matter. I'm sure during your great Hall of Fame career, there were times you didn't feel comfortable, but you just have to work through it.
Right. You got to work through it. You got to work harder, and I'm trying to wait and see the ball better and wait for the ball. Let it get to you. Sometimes you're trying to get the swing of the pitch out of his hand, and that don't work that way.
Back in that era in the 70s, 60s, you actually came up in the 60s. Didn't have a whole lot of batting coaches. Did you rely on teammates when you were in a little bit of a slump? Did you rely on other guys that were teammates?
Yes. I watched him. One guy who helped me watching him was Frank Robinson. When I got to the big leagues in 64 and 65, I watched Frank hit and the way he plays the game. And he was a terrific player and a terrific hitter.
Oh, wow. A bullet into center field. Yelich to third. He'll hold there. Hamilton's throw is cut. And I think the only reason that Yelich was held, it's a small ballpark, and that was a bullet.
Anybody else hits a single, Yelich scores, but that ball was hit so hard he couldn't score.
Nobody can score in that ball.
I mean, Hamilton has this ball well before Yelich gets to third.
Wow. Some of the hardest balls you've seen hit watching Stanton?
Yeah, during the game, yes. You know, he hit the hardest ball in the game I ever seen anybody. I mean, it's line drive.
113 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah.
Stanton's at first and Chase back. Yelich is at third. The inning open. The Derek Dietrich homer to right. Stanton joking with Brandon Phillips that Phillips wasn't shifted there to get the ball like he did the last line drive. Ozuna takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1. That was in. You saw Ozuna look back, and home plate umpire Lance Barksdale. DeSclafani tries the other side of the plate. It's 0-2.
What have you seen? Because again, you're there in Miami every day. What have you seen in Ozuna this year that you'd like to see him get a little better in?
It's a different hitter when he got man on base right now. On the first time up, he got nobody on base, he hit a line drive. Now he's trying to pull the ball. He's not supposed to. He's not supposed to try to pull it right there.
He pops it up.
Pull the ball and got laid.
Bruce has got a great arm, and it's shallow. There's no way that Yelich will try it. And so now a double play gets DeSclafani off the hook. Justin Bour is the hitter.
Which brings up the next question. How does a hitter get better with runners on base and scoring position?
Well, he has to wait for his pitch. I mean, he got to stay at the middle. We're talking about that almost every day. I talk to him, stay at the middle, no matter what. When you got your pitch inside, like that one he had, react to it. But he don't react on that pitch, he just pop it up. I mean, he just late because he opened up too soon.
You were known for driving in runs. And
yeah, I'm not sure if it was Tony who I heard this from years ago, but with the man on third, less than 2 out. I know you had this theory, was just think about driving the ball hard up the middle.
Right back to
up
the pitch.
middle.
Yes,
yeah.
Up the middle. You get a pitch inside, you react, and then when you hit your home runs.
Bour takes down. Of course, DeSclafani's got the good two-seamer, so he's looking for a ground ball here. And as Tony taught us 3 years ago, you don't necessarily try to hit a ball in the air. You just try to get a ball you can drive. Right, Tony?
Right. And now you think, I always think about is who's in trouble right now? Not the hitter.
Yeah.
The pitcher's in trouble. That's what I say. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to give it to me. That's what you have to wait for.
You used to hear that, Rich, from one of your old partners a long time ago in Seattle.
The redhead always said that. Ron Fairley. Who's in trouble?
Who's in trouble? Yeah.
Pitcher's in trouble. Even with 1 out, he's in trouble. He got to get a ground ball. If you're not, he got to fetch another hitter.
And Bour fouls it off. 2-2.
Tony, have you seen the statue that the Reds organization is making for you?
Yes.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I see the little one, the replica they make. Yes, I see it. Look good.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
The 2-2. There's a chopper over the mound. Phillips has it. He'll get the out, and Miami gets a run. Yelich scores. Bour gets an RBI. Stanton is in scoring position. Good placement by Bour, just getting that out of the reach of DeSclafani.
That's such a little thing, but just the fact that he made contact, chopped the ball, got the run in.
You put the ball in play, you got a chance. When you struck out, no. That's what it is. You see, he hit it right. He got a ribby. That's what the game about it. Get some ribby and get some runs.
The statue that they're about to unveil here is of you. It's from that Bill Lee moment, right? The home run.
Yes.
In the World Series.
The 75 World Series, right? The
Game 7.
Pitch. Right. They're going to have me swinging. And in the building next, across the street, they're going to put a ball, like where the ball hits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to put a ball on top of the building.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Over the monster.
Right. Over the monster.
Real Muto, left field. That's well hit, and it's over the head of Marlon Byrd. That's an RBI double. Stanton will score, and JT Real Muto knocks in the 3rd run of the inning. Miami's got a 3-0 lead.
Real Muto has some sneaky power. Every once in a while, he'll hit a ball and it really jumps. And for JT, that's his 9th double this year. Pretty good pitch too.
He's a good athlete. He can run for the catcher. He can run as well.
Jeff Pico, the pitching coach for the Reds, on his way out to talk to DeSclafani. DeSclafani cruised through the first 3 innings, and it looked like a repeat of what the Marlins have had for their last 3 games here on the road, and that was a struggle to get any hits through the first 5 or 6 innings.
Yeah, the only base runner they had was Dietrich, was hit by that pitch, but things have changed here in the 4th inning.
Hey, Tony, if there are fans watching that are coming to Cincinnati for the All-Star game and they're going to be here for 3 or 4 days, what would you recommend they do over those 3-4 days besides the All-Star festivities? Anything around town?
Well, they got a lot of places to go, but really, this city has changed so much. I mean, the last few years, I don't know. I think can't tell them. I mean, they're going to be baseball all over. But for the next 3 days.
How about the Montgomery Inn for some ribs?
Yeah, Montgomery Inn is great.
We always suggest that.
Yeah, it's good. You get some ribs.
But you can't go to the Montgomery Inn and wear this.
No.
Because
you can't eat Skyline chili and wear this.
Right.
When you go there, and there's one right down the river from the ballpark, the first thing they'll do is put a bib on you, and it's terrific. It's not only a great dinner, but they've got a lot of Cincinnati sports memorabilia, obviously heavy on Reds history.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got many pictures.
Yeah, a lot of
in there.
Yeah, they have a lot of memorabilia, everything.
You and Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, Oscar is there too.
That's right.
Oscar Robertson, a great player.
Any of the guys here in town now? A lot of times when we show up, we'll see Johnny Bench or somebody will be here.
No, nobody is here right now. Joe used to be here a lot because he's in California. He got a problem with his knees, and he's down in California.
Saw David Concepcion the other day in Florida, down in Miami.
Yeah, he was there, but he's in Venezuela right now.
Justin Nicolino in a spot to help himself. His 2nd major league at bat. He was 0 for 12 in AAA this year.
He didn't lose too good the first time up.
Guys just don't get a chance to hit as much anymore.
Right.
Even his mom said that during the at bat, right? There she is.
That's mom. Oh.
Yeah, family's
Yeah,
here.
mom and dad are here.
And they weren't aware. I mean, they were aware that he might pitch last night. If you missed Craig Minervini's interview, this morning they checked in with him. And he said, yeah, I'm here in Cincinnati, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pitch. They made their flight arrangements. And at 2:30 he called and said, I'm in. And at 3 o'clock they were on a flight, and they made it for first pitch.
There you go.
Now remember that major league debut of DeSclafani in L.A. He got his first major league hit. I think he got another RBI. He has 2 RBIs in that game.
Real Muto at 2nd. Echeverria at 1st. Foul ball back to the screen.
Mom is more outwardly nervous than Dad is. I think Dad kind of holds it in. Mom just lets it fly.
Yeah, he's sitting back and relaxed. Mama is trying to get there with him. Hit for him.
Now, DeSclafani will probably tell Nicolino later tonight when the two friends talk that he felt he had him struck out on this pitch. Just missed.
I don't take that pitch with 2 strikes anyway. Not me.
There's a solid grounder to short. The flip by Suarez, inning over, but Miami strikes a homer by Dietrich.
And then 2 more runs after that. Tony Perez, thanks for the visit. Enjoy the All-Star game.
Guys.
Tony, thanks.
You.
Enjoy the statue,
Thank you.
too.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Subaru of Pembroke Pines. By Checkers, get Checkers authentic Philly cheesesteak. Try the new meatball sub, pick yours. And by Lexus of Pembroke Pines, price service selection. You're gonna love us. Great American Ballpark. The awful weather that we were greeted with yesterday when the Marlins and the Reds started has kind of dissipated and hopefully holds through tomorrow afternoon. Afternoon game tomorrow. Todd Frazier, Jay Bruce, Brian Pena for Brian Price's Reds in the 4th. There's your matchup tomorrow. The Marlins headed home to take on the Cardinals. Michael Lorenzen and David Phelps. Here's Frazier. Justin Nicolino has himself a lead here. So far, so good for Nicolino.
You know, when you look back at this game, for Nicolino, you're going to look at the double play. You got Phillips to hit into, and then the nice pitch he made to strike out Votto to get out of that inning. Remember, the Reds had runners at first and second, nobody out.
Frazier to left. Yelich is there. He makes the catch. That Cardinal series starts on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, kids eat free. 7:10 start. Every child 12 and under with a ticket gets a coupon for a free KMB Frank, bag of Frito-Lay chips, small Pepsi or Aquafina water. Get your tickets for Kids Eat Free Wednesday at Marlins.com. Now Jay Bruce, who lined hard, but right at Justin Bour. That finished off the first. An indication that he's still swinging it well. He's 8 for his last 13. Make it 9 for his last 14.
Now, we mentioned it earlier, too, the fact that a couple of their left-handers swing the bat well against lefties, Votto and Bruce.
Here comes Brian Pena. The Seattle Mariners, their hitting coach was Howard Johnson. He's been reassigned. You know, the Mariners named as their hitting coach today?
Thought Hojo was doing a pretty good job.
Apparently not. That one's line foul. I'll give you a hint. The stadium sits on a street that has been renamed for him.
Oh, it's got to be one. Not Jay Buhner, so it's got to be Edgar Martinez.
Edgar Martinez.
Now, Dave Niehaus, there's another street Niehaus Way. The late Hall of Fame broadcaster. Echeverria to the bag. And Nicolino spins a double play and a nifty, quick 4th inning. It ends on a 6-3 double play. Justin Nicolino's Major League debut right now. Very nice. Marlins are up 3-0. Three 3-0 Marlins on top, right next to the Great American Ballpark, and this place is going to be packed during the All-Star week for sure. The Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. It is a terrific place. If you come to Cincinnati to see a ball game, you have to make time for this. South Florida Honda dealers get you ready for tomorrow. Father's Day greetings. Tony Perez memories as well. That's tomorrow. The Marlins and the Reds finish off the series at 1 o'clock. The riverboat out in center field. One of the areas that for fans a great place to stand and watch the game. There's seating on the rail up there as well. D. Gordon leads it off. And a breaking ball for a strike. D. Gordon, the fastest to 100 hits in Major League Baseball since 1997, when there were two hitters that accomplished that, Tony Gwynn and Larry Walker. Suarez to first. Gordon is out, and he's 0 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, fastest Marlin for sure ever to 100 hits.
Here is Derek Dietrich. There's so much tradition and history around here. That Hall of Fame, certainly the Big Red Machine that Tony talked about. Frank Robinson, who was a terror here for National League pitchers in the 60s. The Cincinnati Reds are recognized as baseball's first all-professional team. They were originally formed in 1869. Then they were disbanded, and then came back in 1881. And they joined the National League in 1890.
Now remember, years ago, opening day, first game of the year was always here in Cincinnati. Big parade. And so the first game played of the season was always opening day in Cincinnati.
Derek Dietrich, who homered, walks. This is a selfie Saturday. Your best selfie while watching Marlins baseball. You know, on the couch at your local sports bar. Use the hashtag selfie Saturday Marlins. Or if you're here in the ballpark, maybe you can text your friend and say, hey, take a selfie, and then hashtag it selfie Saturdays Marlins.
But first, you'd have to get a text from your friend to say that they just ran the selfie Saturday promo. so you'd know to take the selfie to send it, right?
Hashtag confused. Yelich, who doubled in the fourth, struck out his first time up. DeSclafani shares another thing in common with his buddy Justin Nicolino. They both work quickly. They're both all business out there.
Of course, the other part of the deal, DeSclafani being traded to the Reds for Matt Latos. Chad Wallach, also minor league catcher, son of former big leaguer Tim Wallach,
who's coaching with the Dodgers. Bench coach, right?
Bench coach for Don Mattingly.
Pitch is out to Yelich. Giancarlo Stanton waits on deck. Throw to first. You know, doing a little more research on the Reds and their birth. They originally were welcomed into the National League in 1876 as a charter member, but then they were banned. They ran afoul of a couple of league rules, and that was A, selling beer at the ballpark, and B, playing games on Sunday. Yelich didn't go, and he walks. And the Reds felt that both those activities were important to entice the large German population in the city.
And look how things have turned out in the major leagues.
I think that was long before Rosie Red became popular.
I think so.
Because they may have been expelled for that too back in 1876.
Well, as we see at home, we've got the Budweiser balcony bar. Big Budweiser sign here down the right field line. The Hopper getting loose. Badenhop.
The Hopper. The Reds actually, speaking of mascots, Rosie Red being one of them, Mr. Red was the first mascot in baseball. As I remember a few years ago doing a feature on mascots. Back in the 50s, I believe, Mr. Red first appeared. He was at first a drawing on a uniform, and then he came to life magically.
Was that the evil Mr. Red, or did he come along later?
Evil Mr. Red had like a 3-year run, the Dark Eyes. This is happier.
Happy Mr. Red.
Yes, he's almost Mr. Red Legs, Mr. Red.
That's for short. He's Mr. Red.
Now Stanton, runners first and second, and one out.
Well, all of a sudden, DeSclafani having trouble throwing strikes. Walked Dietrich, walked Yelich.
And a nice opportunity to add on for Miami. Good speed out there with Dietrich and Yelich. And Yelich has an enormous lead at first.
You like to see a runner do what Yelich is doing because Votto's playing way off the bag. You might not even see Votto in your screen. There he is. So if you're a runner, you can get off as far as he is. And Yelich doing the right thing.
Let's see if Stanton gets something to hit. Off the end of the bat, DeSclafani pounces on it. Votto does arrive at first in time and gets the out.
Here's an AB that Giancarlo's not going to be happy with. He had the count in his favor and went after that slider and hit it off the end of the bat. He's not happy.
And you can see it in his eyes. So here's Ozuna, who's lined out and popped out. You heard Tony Perez in his last at bat. He felt that Ozuna had changed his approach with runners on base. In fact, runners in scoring position. And he's got two of them here with 2 outs. Tony's prescription, and you hear Frank Menachino preach this all the time. Stay middle.
I think that's the easiest prescription when a guy's struggling.
Ozuna sends it to right, hits it pretty well. Bruce goes back, warning track, and at the wall he makes the catch. A few feet away from a 3-run homer. Instead, Miami leaves 2. (3-0). Marlins on top. I'm not sure. Is that Gapper?
Look how delicately Rosie gets off the top of the dugout. Yeah, a little different than the fanatic.
Yes. Well, Rosie has style. She has a certain flair.
Now, Billy was with us in New York. Made a couple of nice appearances on the MLB Network.
I thought Billy was here in town for a day yesterday.
I think he was, maybe the first day. I think Billy and Rosie exchanged numbers too.
Thanks for that. Marlon Byrd, Eugenio Suarez, Anthony DeSclafani, Justin Nicolino's major league debut, and he's been outstanding. Dietrich goes to get it, and across the diamond he gets the outs. So the first out of the 5th, there he is.
Oh,
this is in New York.
Times Square.
And that's a knockoff Mickey there, right?
He got the Statue of Liberty and Elmo to vote.
I don't think that was Lady Liberty, though. That's Lady Liberty.
Yeah, there you go.
Eugenio Suarez. We talked last night about the injuries that the Reds have had. Zach Cozart, their fine shortstop, one of them. And Cozart was really hitting before he hurt his knee. And Devin Mesoraco was a nice package of power and catching skills. A guy that the Reds are hopeful recovers from what is a troublesome hip injury. There's a liner into right field. Stanton over to get it. Round first is Suarez, going to second, and he'll get there.
Yeah, Devin Mesoraco last year, 25 home runs, 80 RBIs. So certainly he is missed. This is a good bit of hitting by Suarez. Not a bad pitch. If he pulls it, it's probably a ground ball, but he stayed right with it with a line drive the other way.
Chris Dominguez will pinch hit for Anthony DeSclafani. So DeSclafani's night lasts 5 innings. The Reds have an opportunity to get a run, and so Brian Price pulls the trigger on Dominguez. And Dominguez pulls the trigger on that one, left center. Yelich there makes the catch. Suarez back to second. If you get it on the good part of the bat, it'll go. It's carrying quite well tonight. That one off the end of the bat.
Longtime Reds announcer Chris Welch, former big league pitcher, does a great job on Reds TV with Tom Brenneman. Came into the booth and said he's never seen the ball carry the way it is tonight.
And not just on the Dietrich home run, but the Ozuna fly ball that nearly got out. There he is, Chris Welch.
Chris on the left, Tom on the right. So it's always family night for the Brennemans. Marty, Hall of Fame announcer, over on the radio side for Cincinnati.
Hamilton fouls it back to the screen.
And there's Marty.
He's the only guy still in uniform from the Big Red Machine.
Yeah.
He was working
Still
then
active.
Working then with Al Michaels, who was the Reds voice during the mid-'70s after a stint with the Giants. Good breaking ball there from Nicolino.
I think I've told you this. I remember when Al Michaels was doing the Hawaii Islanders baseball games.
The Nicolino family. An Orlando kid. Little tapper up the line.
Remember, Mom was just worried about the pitch count. That's just 55 for Nicolino. She's checking her MLB at bat app to check on the pitch count.
Now, being in Orlando was very handy because obviously Nicolino last year was pitching on that team. Those two guys were key members of the championship team.
Look at that.
And in July, JT Realmuto and Justin Nicolino will have their bobbleheads. Now, the Nicolino one is, you look at him and he's tipping his cap. And that is Game 3 of the championship series. Nicolino pitched 7 innings. And when he came off the mound, the crowd went nuts. He tipped his cap. And so that's his bobblehead that will come for you Jacksonville fans in July.
Well, he won the ERA title for Jacksonville. He was the most outstanding pitcher. And if you look up and down his resume, in the minor leagues, 42-17 with an ERA of 2.67. And just about every level, every stop that he made an all-star team too.
Nicolino trying to get Billy Hamilton. Line drive right at Echeverria. Hamilton lines out Justin Nicolino. 5 shutout innings. And the family loves it. He's our mascot. That was the Exmo squirrel. These are animals, birds. There's a hawk. There's the real hawk. Last night, remember the rally squirrel for the Cardinals about 5-6 years ago? He was actually on one of their World Series rigs. Well, he's on the screen here. He's looking for something to eat. The squirrel would scamper and then fall 30 feet. And you know where he fell? He fell into the dugout and he fell on Chase Utley.
Oh, it's a bad enough year for Chase Utley. He has to have a falling squirrel come down on him. See, Utley's saying right there, because I don't think he played last night, he's saying, if I was having a better year, I wouldn't have been in the dugout.
It's a great picture of Utley.
Oh, man.
Recoiling in horror as the squirrel lands on his back in the Philadelphia paper. You can see it on Philly.com. (2011) Game 4 of the National League Division Series. There was a squirrel that scampered across home plate. It was the Phillies and the Cardinals. Justin Bour lifts it out into shallow left. Marlon Byrd is there, and he makes the catch. And he was quickly adopted by the Cardinals as their mascot. They called him the Rally Squirrel. Speaking of good friends, I mean, as long as we're talking about Nicolino and as long as we're talking about DeSclafani, we got to talk about the Hopper.
Yeah, it's been a rough go so far this year as a Red for Burke Badenhop. Boy, as a Marlin, he was reliable. He was dependable. He was used in many different roles. Remember a couple of the emergency starts he even made. And obviously for him to be successful, he has to keep the ball down just the way that last pitch was. 32 years old now.
Burke Badenhop gets the first out. He got Justin Bour. He's got JT Realmuto and Adeiny Echeverria. When he's right, he's a ground ball machine.
You go back to 2009, and obviously there's no one on base now, but Burke Badenhop, 4th in baseball in inducing double play grounders during that period of time.
Had a nice year last year with the Boston Red Sox. 70 appearances and a 2.29 ERA. That was after a solid year in Milwaukee, a solid year in Tampa Bay. His last year with the Marlins, 2011, and he gets a ground ball to second from Realmuto. Crazy 8 Wednesday. Speaking of the Cardinals, no rally squirrels allowed. However, if you fill up at Chevron, bring your receipt to the Marlins Park ticket office. You can get an $18 Lexus Legends ticket or a $28 home plate box ticket. Just visit your participating Chevron station for details.
I saw that shot of Ichiro.
Echeverria to right. Bruce is back. That's what the Hopper does when he's on.
And we'll tell you about Ichiro when we come back.
8 pitches for the Hopper.
Because he's the Hopper.
That's right. That's what he does.
from Great American Ballpark here in Cincinnati. We're in the fan zone just beyond first base here at the ballpark, and a unique piece of real estate here. Across the street, Paul Brown Stadium, that's where the Bengals play. But this area here is exactly where the outfield was for Riverfront Stadium. Dedicated to Pete Rose, this bed of roses. Beautiful red roses, but notice the white roses in the middle. That is the exact spot where Pete Rose's legendary hit, number 4192, off Eric Shaw on September 11th, 1985 hit. It is honored here today with those white roses. Pretty neat. Rich?
Maybe someday they'll let the Roses and Pete Rose back into the ballpark, which they will do for the All-Star.
They are going to have Pete involved in a number of the All-Star festivities, yes.
That is not Pete. Though he can buy a ticket, I guess, but it sounds like there's progress between Pete and Rob Manfred, the new commissioner. Maybe a thawing out process. Yelich. Tell you what, watching Justin Nicolino, the Reds really haven't barreled many balls up at all.
You see exactly what we were told. He has a feel for pitching. You don't have to throw 97 to get guys out at this level. He changes speeds. He's jammed some guys. He's had hitters out front off the end of the bat. Some change-ups, a few curveballs. He knows how to pitch.
Here is Joey Votto. I think a great example of not having to throw 96, 97 with movement and be a very good starting pitcher was last night Mike Leake. The Marlins had miserable contact all night long.
You get pitchers, and sometimes I think they're drafted just because they throw hard. And yes, if that guy who throws hard learns how to pitch, he can be a number one. But you need a whole lot more pitchers at this level. You need 2s and 3s and 4s in your rotation, guys who know how to pitch.
If you throw 98 and you learn how to really pitch, you turn into Max Scherzer.
Yeah, you go to the Hall of Fame. The other amazing thing about what Scherzer did today, threw that no-hitter and had 10 strikeouts. His start before, he threw a one-hit shutout, had 16 strikeouts, and coming into this year, he had only thrown one complete game. So he's throwing back-to-back complete games.
Votto hits a ground ball. And D. Gordon gets the out. And Justin Nicolino just keeps getting outs. T-Mobile game changer. For the Reds, his name is Joey Votto. Now last year, injured, left quad. He played 62 games. He was hobbled. And here's the proof. Healthy leg, healthy numbers. Votto in 2015. Much more Votto-like. 14 homers. The OPS always high at 944. The on base is up. And slugging percentage up as well. Frazier now has flied out to left twice, and he pulls that one foul. Keeping the ball off the barrel of the bat is an art form, and it's something that guys that pitch in the big leagues who don't have swing and miss stuff, that's how they make a living. That's how they get outs.
I would say Tom Glavine had a pretty good career doing that. There's a changeup. We talked about Nicolino's last start in New Orleans. It was against Omaha. He went 5 1/3. His start before that, he went 8 2/3. Gave up just 3 runs.
And a jam shot. Echeverria plants, throws, and gets him. Justin Nicolino, 6 shutout innings. Mom loves it. Dad approves. And the lefty from Orlando looking good tonight. Cincinnati on top. Justin Nicolino's Major League debut is going quite well. Selfie Saturday brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Post your best selfie watching Marlins baseball. Use the hashtag Selfie Saturday Marlins. And we'll show the best picture on Marlins Live postgame. Okay, the Blue Ribbon panel is not in this weekend. It's the ragtag group that we've cobbled together here in Cincinnati.
Want to make sure we get word to Justin Nicolino's mom. Through 6 innings, just 68 pitches. She was a little concerned about pitch count.
Burke Badenhop throws a strike to Nicolino. Nicolino struck out, bounced into a fielder's choice. Phillips backs up, gets a good hop, and gets the out at first base. An out here in the top of the 7th. That brings up D. Gordon. The Marlins got all their runs in the 4th against Anthony DeSclafani. Derek Dietrich hit a mammoth homer to right center field, about 20 rows up in the bleachers. Dan Jennings saw Christian Yelich double. Giancarlo Stanton single. Justin Bour knocked in a run with a ground ball out, and then JT Realmuto with an RBI double. The Hopper has come in. He's retired all 4 that he's faced. West Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Brian Price gets the baseball. We'll be right back. Time now for our Geico Marlins moment. 95. Terry Matthews became the first Marlins pitcher to collect 3 hits in a game, couple doubles, 2 RBI, 2 runs, and he got the win 7-2 over the Rockies. That was in relief. That's a busy day for a reliever.
For a reliever, yes, it is.
Manny Parra.
And speaking of relievers, the reason Brian Price made this move, he brings in the left-hander with the lefties coming up. D. Gordon, Dietrich, and then Yelich.
So with 1 out, it's Gordon against Parra. And Manny Parra gets a strike. Manny Parra is 2 appearances shy of 300 for his career. He tried to bring that one with him. Coors, cold, hard facts on D. Gordon. Quickest to 100 hits in the shortest amount of games by a good margin. He beats Miguel Cabrera's 2005 and Hanley Ramirez 2007. As I noted, it's the fastest to 100. That's a liner that's going to get in for a hit. Over for it is Bird. D. Gordon's not stopping. There's number 101. The fastest to 100 in baseball since 1997. Tony Gwynn and Larry Walker both did it in 97.
You know, you think about 100, now you start thinking Dee Gordon's not, but you think about 200 hits. The Marlins have had 2 players reach the 200 hit plateau. Hanley Ramirez and Juan Pierre did it twice.
Now that amazes me that Luis Castillo never did it.
No. I think Louis was in the 180s, 190s.
The year he had his hit streak?
Probably.
Now Dietrich. A productive day for Dietrich. It started by getting hit by a pitch. Then he blasted one up into the seats for a leadoff homer in the 4th and walked in the 5th. And a chance to add on here for Miami. Gordon's running. Great jump, and Dietrich fouls it off, and he's mad at himself for swinging. You could see him react as soon as he swung the bat. Watch the break. Watch Dietrich.
Nothing, and certainly not against Derek Dietrich, but you talk about an experienced number 2 hitter like a Martin Prado. He picks that up right away, and he's able to hold back and not swing. Hey, Derek Dietrich's an aggressive hitter, and he saw a good fastball, and he just couldn't hold up. Bottom line. Yeah, Louis had 185, 187, 180. But never 187 most hits Luis Castillo ever had in a year. 2003 was a good year.
Well, the element of surprise has gone certainly for Gordon, but you never know. Parra checks him.
That's a good point too. Stealing third a lot of times is because of that element of surprise.
Gordon was skipping off there, and I think if Parra had come to the plate instead of turning around, he may have bolted again, because anytime you can get a moving lead, then you really got something. In case you missed it, this was Dietrich's homer. No doubt about it. 20 rows or so up. He's running. It's taken for a strike. Gordon is safe.
That is something you don't see too often. A guy with the element of surprise try to steal third, and that first time a foul ball, to then do it again when he was being held closely. Look at how close the shortstop Suarez was. He beats the throw and then manages to stay on the bag. That's the key.
And so Gordon with a stolen base. It was a called strike. There's some question about it right now. Parra is asking the home plate umpire, and the count should be 1-2.
So Dee Gordon with 23 stolen bases. Billy Hamilton holding on to that lead with 31.
Infield is in. 1-2 pitch to Dietrich. Just out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Dietrich obviously taking that pitch, especially after the first one, and sacrificing a strike. The payback is if he can drive it through the infield to get an RBI. No, that's out. And it's full now at 3-2. Christian Yelich on deck. Then you've got Giancarlo Stanton. Good job by Dietrich to stay alive. Derek Dietrich's in a spot with his skill set. He could be a young Daniel Murphy. Doesn't have a dominant defensive spot, but his bat as they say, scouts will say it.
His bat's going to keep him around.
It plays in the big leagues. The power, the contact. Drive to right. That's deep. And it's gone. A line drive homer by Dietrich. You bet it plays in the big leagues. Dietrich has homered twice. A 2-run shot. And the Marlins stretch their lead to 5-0.
Some sort of off-speed pitch. Parra had missed with some fastballs. And an off-speed pitch that's on the inner part of the plate. And Derek Dietrich didn't hook it. He didn't hook it foul. He kept it fair. That was a breaking ball. Just kind of floated up there. And Dietrich with a solid swing, a 2-home run game. First time in his career at the major league level, 2 home runs in a game.
Yelich swings and misses. And so Derek Dietrich, who now has homered 3 times since being called up, makes it 5-0. Yelich.
Talked about it the other night. Derek Dietrich now in less than 400 major league at bats. That's his 17th home run.
An average season of at bats for a player that plays a full season or thereabouts is over 500. That one flipped into the seats. Usually what, 550 is an average?
550, yeah. Certainly well over 400.
And that would put him well over 20 home runs in that season.
Absolutely.
Probably mid-20s. Oh, 2 pitch misses out from Parra.
So this is just to let Marlins fans know other managers get second guessed and everything. So Brian Price makes the move, brings in the lefty. He gives up a double to D. Gordon and a home run to Derek Dietrich. It happens.
A swing and a miss. And down goes Yelich. There are 2 outs. Fish Family, the exclusive loyalty program of Marlin fans. Your code for tonight, Latos. Marlins.com/Fish Family. Get you.
So let me get back to the Ichiro thing before we go to break. Ichiro pinch hit last night. 40th ballpark he's appeared in. He'd never appeared in this ballpark. Riverfront, yes. Not Great American.
West Kendall, Toyota. Called to the bullpen. Derek Dietrich has stretched the lead to 5-0. One, a majestic shot, right center, 20 rows in. And then a line drive that just got out down the right field line.
He has let it fly a couple of times tonight.
Nate Adcock out of the Cincinnati bullpen. And it's got to feel good for Miami to stretch their legs a bit, get 5 runs on the board after 3 really tough games on the road. The Fish shutout last night. Scored 4 runs in the loss to the Yankees on Thursday night and lost 2-1 to Michael Pineda and the Yankees on Wednesday.
Yeah, last night, the 5th time this year the Marlins have been shut out.
Here's Stanton now. Stanton's lined out, singled, and bounced out to the mound. This was an Anthony DeSclafani start. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. Stanton busts his bat, but it's going to hang up and carry out to Hamilton, who makes the catch. And the Marlins are done. 7th inning stretch in Cincinnati. Right now, 5-0 Fish. For Miami, 5-0, bottom of the 7th. We check in with Craig Minervini.
You know, Rich, the Marlins will be the first to admit that in the past at times they have accelerated some pitchers to the big leagues because of needs at the time. But you can't say that about Justin Nicolino. All he has done is in 2012, after coming over here, finished off a season, was the Midwest Pitcher of the Year. The next year in 2013, he was the Florida State League Pitcher of the Year. How about last year? He was the Southern League Pitcher of the Year. He won a AA championship. And this year he had an ERA under 3 in a hitters league in the PCL with a 4-3 record in 14 starts. And even at that, it was a Tom Kohler back ailment that got him up here. So the Marlins call up a guy who is ready, who has shown he is ready, and he's answered the bell here so far in his major league debut.
And Craig, his mom told you that pitch count was important early, and it's important now, bottom 7.
Absolutely. And they're letting him pitch.
69 pitches. The 70th is fouled off by Jay Bruce, Brian Pena, and Marlon Byrd in the 7th.
You look at his minor league numbers. He's never been a high strikeout guy. Kind of goes along with tonight. 1 strikeout, but just 1 walk. He's been helped by making good pitches, and he's gotten a couple of really nice double plays.
Bruce is hot, and he takes strike 3 called.
And he looks calm and cool out there.
2nd strikeout for Justin Nicolino, who's just 23.
Cutter right on the outside corner. Perfect pitch.
He was the 2nd round pick of the Blue Jays in 2010. Mom and Dad, who hopped on a flight at 3 o'clock, made it in time for first pitch.
Mentioned it earlier, University High School in Orlando. Change-up.
One of his teammates, Nick Goody, in the University High School, was a draft pick in 2012. Pitched at LSU. Was a closer at LSU. Now in the Yankees organization. Yet another piece that the Marlins were able to get in that trade between 2012 and 2013. You look at the impact of that trade just on tonight. You've got Nicolino throwing a shutout in his major league debut, and you've got Derek Dietrich, whom the Marlins got from the Rays with Yunel Escobar, who came in that trade. Dietrich has homered twice. Brian Pena walks. So a strikeout and a walk to open up the bottom of the 7th. Here's Marlon Byrd.
I think in that deal, I don't know for sure, but I think it was one of those things where the Blue Jays say, all right, we'll make this deal and do all this if you guys take Yunel Escobar. And so the Marlins, okay, we'll do that. And they ended up flipping him for Derek Dietrich.
Marlon Byrd now has flied out and bounced out. .76 pitches in is Justin Nicolino. The Reds have 4 hits. Marlon Byrd, who a few years ago was suspended 50 games for violating Major League Baseball's performance-enhancing drug program.
This is Marlon Byrd's 8th team. And he'll be the first to tell you, he really kind of turned things around. He's a late bloomer. He'll be 38 in August. But he really kind of turned things around in Texas.
Rudy Jaramillo, the hitting coach there. I believe those two had hooked up with the Cubs as well.
Byrd, an all-star in 2010. And the 25 home runs he hit last year. Talking about being a late bloomer, the most in a single season for him. Last year with the Phillies.
Dale and Sherry, Justin Nicolino's parents.
Boy, they have to be proud. They have to feel good at the debut their son is making tonight.
There's a 1-2. Dietrich knocks it down, picks it up, and it'll have no play. Ball to his right, it came up and it got him right in the chest.
Not an easy play, and I think on a play like that, if you think about, okay, let me make the play and get it out, you might be a little better off. He may have been thinking getting a double play. Either way, he gets charged with an error, but it wasn't an easy play at all.
It's going to be an E5. And here's Suarez. I don't know about you, but one of my most favorite things about a player's major league debut is if his parents are in the stands and if we're able to get an interview with the parents. Because in their face you can see the pride, and then you realize all the time and effort and money that the parents have put into a player's journey from Little League through high school ball, if they're fortunate enough to be able to play travel ball, and then in through the minor leagues, because that's a whole nother journey There's a lot of, I'm sure, weekends spent on the road, driving to ballparks. Dietrich gets the chance to redeem himself. Steps on the bag, fires a BB. Nicely done. And Mom and Dad, give me a little love, Grandma. That's it. All right. Feeling good, and you should. Justin Nicolino, 7 shutout innings in his Major League debut. 5-0 Miami. Marlins game summary.
A lot of fun stuff to show you in this one. How about a Derek Dietrich home run in the 4th inning? The Marlins picked up 3 runs in that inning. Picked up some runs, an RBI from Justin Bohr. He put the ball in play. JT Realmuto, big double, sails this one over the head of Marlon Byrd. Marlins get their 3rd run in that 4th inning. In the 7th inning, you know what? It's that guy Derek Dietrich again. His first career multi-homer game. That followed a double and a stolen base by D. Gordon. So the Marlins showed a little long ball tonight. And then they've gotten 7 shutout innings from Justin Nicolino, making his Major League debut. And to add to the parents being here, he will get to celebrate Father's Day tomorrow with his dad.
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, you can see a lot of the Marlins just pretty thrilled for the young man.
Pitch count's still pretty good, 84, but that's going to be it for Nicolino tonight.
Marcell Ozuna. Nate Adcock still in for the Reds. Nah, there you go. How about that? The 2 bobblehead twins, Realmuto and Nicolino. There's probably a lot of fans in Jacksonville right now saying, yeah, we've seen this before.
We knew that. We knew that.
We knew all along.
Carter Capps getting ready.
Realmuto was really the emotional leader and the anchor of that team that had that incredible run at the end of the year. It's an Andy Barquette-led team.
There's probably some folks in New Orleans who saw him pitch this year who were saying the same thing. Good feeling for Chuck Hernandez.
Adcock with a slider that misses. And it's 1-2 for Ozuna. An 0-for-3 ball game. Miami has 6 hits. Dietrich has 2 of those, and they are both home runs. Big crowd here, 36,755. And the Reds are over 1 million. That one fouled back. It's the fastest to 1 million since this place opened. This is just game number 33.
Well, I think also helping certainly the All-Star game here, so fans getting in early on season tickets, knowing that doing that they'll be able to get some All-Star tickets.
2003 is when they opened this ballpark. It replaced Riverfront. 32 years of baseball at Riverfront. Obviously, the Big Red Machine, a big part of that. But remember, they also won a World Series with Lou Piniella, Eric Davis
in the 90s.
Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, of course, the Hall of Famer. Ozuna goes down.
You know, that was a great game here in 2003. The Marlins in town. I think at the time, at that point in time, were 8, maybe 10 games under 500. Brad Penny was supposed to pitch. He was ill. He couldn't. And at the last minute, Jack McKeon brought in Tommy Phelps, kind of a journeyman. Guy pitched out of the bullpen, a left-hander. Pitched a great game and kind of set the tone. The Marlins went on from there.
Well, another left-hander starts here tonight, and Justin Nicolino goes 7 shutout innings. Justin Bour 0 for 3 with an RBI. Bour's bouncer, Votto flips, and Adcock there. 2 outs. Toyota Trend, most innings in a major league debut as a starter for the Marlins all time. Brad Penny, and then Jason Grilli and Tony Saunders, both 6 and change.
With the left-hander, Tony Saunders. Jason Grilli still going strong.
That's right.
I think he picked up a save last night. Has to feel good for JT Realmuto also.
Well, not only the RBI double, but handling a guy in Nicolino who he's worked with a lot. Part of a championship team last year. They were together in New Orleans to start the year. And Adcock misses. So Carter Capps is in the bullpen. And if it sets up the way Dan Jennings would like, you expect to see Capps for an inning. And then A.J. Ramos. Ramos, been a while since we've seen A.J. Little pop-up. Brandon Phillips makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Nate Adcock. Bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati. 5-0 Miami. Saturday night, Miami on top 5-0. What a night for the Fish so far. Justin Nicolino, his major league debut, 7 shutout innings. Carter Capps springs forth from the bullpen. And then Derek Dietrich with 2 home runs tonight. Solo shot, a 2-run homer. So the Marlins have a chance to even the series. Snap a road losing streak, which has reached 6 straight. The Marlins had just 13 runs in those 6 straight road losses, but here tonight 5 runs, including the 2 Dietrich homers.
It's been a rough go this year for the Marlins on the road. Coming into the game tonight, 12-23 away from Miami. On the other hand, they've had a tough matchup. The Reds have played well at home. Cincinnati on a 3-game winning streak.
The good news for Miami is they are headed home for a really fun homestand. You talk about good teams coming through. The Cardinals, the Giants, and the Dodgers.
And some pretty good pitching the Marlins will see on that homestand.
Really good pitching. And the homestand ends, by the way, with the return of Jose Fernandez.
July 2nd.
That is a 12-10 start. The hashtag already on Twitter is Jose Day. Skip Schumacher is up, and Schumacher battles Carter Capps, fouls that one into the seats.
You and I want to feel some terrific energy that day at the ballpark.
Capps misses away.
After that, the Marlins leave on a historic road trip. If you think about it. The 2 cities and the 2 ballparks. They go to Chicago to play the Cubs at Wrigley, and then on to Boston for a 2-game series at Fenway.
Schumacher punches it down the line. Yelich! Oh, the Gold Glover sliding into the wall, making the catch. Great first step. Terrific closing speed and a nifty catch.
Well, you have to make a decision right about there that you can't stop or you're going to run into that padded wall, but you have a chance to catch it, so you get down in that slide, and that helps you stop and brace yourself. Great timing, great play by Christian Yelich. We saw Giancarlo make one of those the other night in Miami.
Billy Hamilton now faces Capps. Yelich is going to have to climb into the seats to get that one. I don't know that any squirrels have dropped on Chase Utley tonight, but the Phillies and the Cardinals are playing. 5-1. Cardinals are beating the Phillies, and that's top of the 8th inning. Mets and Braves back at it. Atlanta a 5-4 lead. Bottom 6 in Atlanta.
You know, a guy who's been doing a really good job, and we'll see him in that Cardinals series in the outfield. Randall Grichuk hit a home run tonight, doing a nice job for St. Louis.
Washington, if you haven't heard, got a no-hitter from Max Scherzer. Almost a perfect game. Real Muto digs out a breaking ball. And that's really the difference in watching Carter Capps this year as opposed to last year. Last year, he could bring it at 100, but he didn't really have the full command of the slider. Now that slider's become a real weapon.
And guys have to cheat to hit that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and they commit, cheat a little bit, all of a sudden that slider, there's no way to hold back. So he's gone from 83 to 98 tonight. Kind of like the temperatures in South Florida right now.
And there's the slider, and if you're Phillips, you know that he's throwing 100, and the first thing you see is it coming at you.
And there's no way you're guessing that first pitch.
Because you haven't seen the slider. It's his first at bat, obviously, against Capps, and he figures, I'm getting the heck out of here. And there's the fastball. Echeverria on to first in time. Carter Capps, easy as that. 1-2-3 to the ninth after an 8-pitch inning. Boy, was he impressive. And here is how he pitched Brandon Phillips.
No way he's thinking slider. There it is, first pitch strike. And then comes in on him with an upper 90s fastball for the roller out to short. Phillips is going, I don't know about that motion.
That's a great imitation. Is the best form of flattery?
Yes, it is.
So Carter Capps locks down the 8th. And Miami will try to add on here. Carlos Contreras is the 4th man out of the Reds bullpen. Badenhop, Parra, and Adcock. Adeni Echeverria. Then you got the pitcher spot. Ichiro is on deck. And then D. Gordon. Echeverria is 0 for 2. Was bounced out, flied out. Also got an intentional walk. Miami trying to get win number 30 here. And Contreras elevates that fastball. Well, the Giants, their record is 37-32. The Dodgers are 38-30. Of course, the Cardinals 44-23. Those are the 3 teams that are coming in. And so it certainly as the Marlins try to dig their way out of the hole that they're in, they'll be 10 under if they win this ball game. Doing that before Jose takes the mound is not going to be easy, though. You certainly have to like what you see tonight from Justin Nicolino. Derek Dietrich stays hot, 2 home runs tonight.
Boy, I think the Yankees like what they've seen from their offense tonight. Gregorius is homered. Beltran has hit 2. Alex Rodriguez has homered and has 5 RBIs. He's 2 for 3 with 5 RBIs.
Bruce is there, and he makes the catch. After the Cardinals are in, the Dodgers arrive on a Nickelodeon night featuring SpongeBob SquarePants. That's right, Tommy Hutton, your favorite. Friday night, June 26th. Marlins and Dodgers. Purchase the SpongeBob SquarePants package at marlins.com/special events. Get a ticket, a Nickelodeon gift item, and more. And enjoy a post-game fireworks show presented by Barracuda Networks.
So Ichiro making his 2nd ever appearance here at Great American Ballpark. You know, in that game, that Yankee game, just to show you how crazy this game is, Nady Eovaldi has gone 5 innings, given up 2 hits and no runs, and could not get out of the first inning against the Marlins.
Well, there you go. Ichiro takes a strike.
And that game is against Detroit.
So 40 ballparks for Ichiro. Contreras misses up. Ichiro came to Cincinnati with Seattle before this ballpark was built. 2003, the first year here. And a slow bouncer out towards second. Phillips to first.
Boy, almost a routine grounder, and Ichiro still makes it a bang-bang play at first base.
D. Gordon now. 1 for 4 is Gordon. He scored on the Dietrich homer in the 7th. It's, by the way, it's Giants and Dodgers tonight in Los Angeles. 6-2 Giants up. Always fun when those two play each other. In fact, growing up, I know for you it was the same way in Los Angeles.
Yes, it was.
Growing up in Northern California, in my very early days, most of the games that were televised by the Giants were the Dodger games. All the Dodger games were on television. Gordon bounces it to short. Suarez gets the out. Carlos Contreras, a 1-2-3 night. AJ Ramos comes in to try to finish it. It's brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers, by Kaiser University. For more information, go to kaiser.edu, and by Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at floridacoasteq.com. On the Ohio, banks of Kentucky on the other side. AJ Ramos on this side.
It's been a while for A.J. Ramos. The last time A.J. worked was in the first game of that Yankees series in Miami. Picked up the save in that 2-1 win. So he did not pitch in New York. He did not pitch last night. So even though this isn't a save situation, A.J. going to come on and get his work, but also try to throw some quality pitches.
Justin Nicolino started this ball game 7 shutout innings. Walked 2, struck out 2. Carter Capps was dominant in the 8th. And Ramos gets the 9th. Joey Votto. The irony here tonight is pretty thick, with Nicolino facing DeSclafani. Two guys that came from Toronto. And the big trade that the Marlins made, came up through the minor leagues, the Marlins system after that. Nicolino arriving here today. DeSclafani arrived last year. The Marlins, looking for a veteran starter, sent DeSclafani here to Cincinnati to get Matt Latos. And so who does Nicolino draw in his major league debut but his good friend and former roommate DeSclafani? And if this score holds, he'll become, Nicolino will, just the 10th pitcher in Marlins history to win his major league debut. The last to do it, DeSclafani.
We can't make this stuff up.
There's a strike.
I mean, we had the 4-game miniseries against the Yankees.
And a lot of things had to happen for this to happen, right? I don't know if it's serendipity or whatever you want to call it. That is a good place to go for dessert in New York, by the way.
Yes, it is.
But the rain out moved the Reds' rotation back one day. The neck and back of Tom Kohler, which has bothered him for the last couple of days, got a little worse yesterday.
That's right. Initially, DeSclafani was going to pitch the Friday game here. But they were rained out against the Tigers on Thursday. The Marlins got Mike Lee.
And Votto swings and fouls it off of Real Muto.
That's amazing. You put all those things together.
.110 start tomorrow. 12:30 for Marlins Live. Craig Minervini live on the field here in Cincinnati. Liner to left. Yelich on a hop. Votto's got a hit. So the Reds have a leadoff hit here in the ninth.
But you see that swing there. That's why Joey Votto is a lifetime 300 hitter. Little two-seam fastball moving away. Almost there's Christian Yelich, but a nice pick on the short hop.
Those are his first base skills from his high school days. Now Frazier. Frazier's hit in 7 straight, but not tonight. He's 0 for 3. And the carnage along the way in those 7 games, pretty impressive. 8 doubles, 6 homers. That's not a soft 7-game hit streak.
That's not like a 1 for 4 or 1 for 5 every night with a single.
Good breaking ball. Ramos, a rarity in the sense that now in the closer's role and even in the 8th inning role is a guy that has 4 pitches and command of 4 pitches. Echeverria, little shovel. Gordon's turn is not in time. That pair turned it as quickly as they could.
Yeah, that really didn't have double play written on it, but these guys make it close. Look at how D. Gordon comes off the bag and gets something on the throw. Good stretch over there by Justin Bour, but not quite in time.
Marlins Live post game brought to you by Checkers. Double D doubles down. That would be Derek Dietrich. Though he didn't double, he had a pair of home runs. And of course, what a special night for Justin Nicolino, the 23-year-old out of Orlando University High School. His major league debut in this ballpark against this team. 7 shutout innings. Bruce, a big swing and a miss.
For a good part of the year, Dietrich playing behind Nicolino in New Orleans.
He's another guy to go to. He and Real Muto go-to guys for the scouting reports.
See, you went to JT. I couldn't find him, so I went to Dietrich.
Very nice.
Actually, I think JT at the time was over talking with Nicolino about the game plan for tonight.
I caught him right before batting practice. Two-one heater from Ramos. Bruce, the big left-handed hitting Texan. Hooks that one down the right field line. It's foul. Amazing, this is the 8th year for Bruce with the Reds. A couple of all-star teams, 2011 and 2012. Bouncer, it's a fair ball. Bour gets an out, and that's it. Frazier is alive at second.
They had a couple of Texans there. Of course, A.J. born in Lubbock, Texas.
That's right, a Red Raider. Well, here's Brian Pena now, the Reds catcher, a guy that's been a backup his entire career, but is getting a lot more playing time with the injury Devin Mesoraco. Almost wants a visit from Real Muto.
Well, it's interesting that the Marlins last night, we mentioned being shut out. It was the 5th time they had been shut out. If AJ can nail this one down, it'll be the 5th shutout the Marlins have pitched.
To an 0. Pena Cuban, his 11th year in the big leagues. Braves and Royals most of his career. 2013 with the Tigers.
Remember last year he actually got a little playing time at first base when Votto was out.
That Votto injury really took the steam out of the Reds offense. They were 76 and 86 last year. Finished 4th in the Central. Bouncer to second. Gordon's got it. Ball game on a memorable night in Cincinnati. The Major League debut of Justin Nicolino could not have gone much better. Derek Dietrich made sure of that. 2 homers for Dietrich. And Nicolino would spin 7 shutout innings, get help from Carter Capps and A.J. Ramos, and the Marlins shut out the Reds.
Think about it, the 3 key guys, the catcher, JT, Dietrich, Nicolino, they all started the year, Dietrich and Nicolino a little longer, in New Orleans in AAA. Boy, they come up big.